Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 7 of I Am Right. I am Rocker Mike. We got Rob Rossi, top right.
How you doing?
Bottom left, and Knowledge, bottom right. How you doing, everybody?
Peace was good.
All right, good. Today's a big one, folks. We're recording this about 10 days after the death of Charlie Kirk, the brutal assassination, and we're going to talk about that today. In fact, I got a feeling it's probably going to be a topic of a lot of shows to come. This fucking thing that happened was so freaking awful. I'm still like kind of shooken up by it, trying to make sense of the whole thing. And really, what we're going to have to talk about right off the bat is just some of the bullshit and awful comments and awful stuff said by politicians, people on social media, people we know. I'm not going to name anybody.
People we know.
People we actually sit down and drink with, are saying some stupid shit. And that's all I'm going to say as far as that. But, Eric, what's your thoughts? What did you feel? How'd you feel when that happened?
Okay, so I didn't always agree with everything Charlie Kirk said.
That's okay.
But I gave him credit because he actually sat both sides down to have a dialogue.
Exactly.
And you know what? There's I was watching Chris Cuomo of all people, and he said Charlie Kirk was a solution, and he's correct. You don't have to like what the guy says, but he tried to bring sides together. And what I tell people is this death, his assassination, was more of an assault on everyone's freedom.
Correct.
Everyone's right to free speech. Now, granted, free speech only applies to government, but the guy was killed for just talking.
Yeah. And what he did was, and you're kind of alluding to this, is he brought the sides together, but he also would have no problem debating anybody. He at his events. I was a watcher of him. I watched him almost every day on Real America's Voice. He was on at 12 o'clock. And if I was home, I usually had him on, and at least in the background if I wasn't totally listening. I agreed with about 90% of what he said. Sometimes I didn't agree with him, but you don't have to. I mean, I might sit down with you and not agree with you. 10% of the time. Do I got to blow your head off now?
Well, what the thing is, people, the things they don't agree with, everybody automatically assumes if I don't agree with you, that means what you said was hateful.
Right.
Hateful is in the eye of the beholder.
And you're an evil person, and you're bad, and I can't have anything to do with you. And I think that what we have to learn from this thing happening is we have to have discourse. Okay, we have to have discourse in this country with all sides talking. Okay, and then you come to a consensus, and that's how it is. That's how it works.
Because you may find that you actually agree on something.
You usually do.
More things than you think.
Yeah, I mean that's happened to me in many conversations with people that. They may have an idea of me because I'm outspoken, whatever, I'm opinionated, I'm a New Yorker, whatever, okay? They may have a problem with things I say or think, but then when they sit down with me, they go, hey, you're all right, And then I've said that to other people too. All right, I don't agree with everything, but you know what? I'll break bread with you anytime.
Yeah.
And that's, the way it's supposed to be. How it was when we grew up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I said, I remember we would have debate class.
Yeah.
Like heated debates, and then the next period will be in lunch talking about Knight Rider.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, I mean, a good example is back in the 80s when Reagan was president. If you remember Tip O'Neill, the Democrat House Speaker. Okay. Tip O'Neill was a tough as nails Democrat. He'd probably be a Republican now, but that's a whole other conversation. But he was a tough as nails guy, and he fought with the Republicans in the House and Reagan, okay, but then after work, just went out and had a drink with him, and everybody, you saved it for the job. All right, we got to hammer things out. Maybe we're going to argue here, but there wasn't this like hatred. Now, Rob, I got to ask you, bartending, what are you seeing among the patrons? Don't name nobody, but I mean,
some people, everybody's like pretty shocked, especially like most of my guys are pretty shocked that he got killed like that. And I hate to say it, killing him is like taking out Dr. King, Malcolm X, Lincoln. This is like this guy he had a following, man.
He was huge.
He was huge, man. If that guy really wanted to go into politics and do stuff, he could have got into politics and do all kind of stuff that he wanted to do, and he was a debater, man. He would go out there, he would talk to people, he would debate both sides, and you know what? He was just a talker, and some people thought that he was doing hate speech, and that's when people get in trouble because they don't agree with him. He's like a very right wing guy that he could have been a leader. Like that guy would have run for office, he would have won, man. And then you go to a place like Utah. He got shot in Utah, probably one of the most conservative places in the world. What the hell's going on, man?
The thing that I see it, my viewpoint is whether you agree with the guy 100%, whether you hate the guy's guts, the man was just speaking. He spoke his mind, and whatever side of the fence you lie on, the fact that he was killed for speaking, that's scary, and that can go down a real slippery slope.
Yeah.
Because it's like, oh, I don't agree with you. Oh, you like the Red Sox? Blah, you gotta go. No, that's wrong. Like, if the guy is not an imminent physical threat to you, you're not supposed to put hands on people.
Well, it's interesting you say that, all right, because Charlie was a threat, okay? He was a threat to the left in this country.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
And he was a young guy, 31, going on 32, father of two, husband.
Married.
They watched him get blown away. They were there. Okay?
Yeah.
That's freaking horrible, okay? And, I mean, that's something that, his wife, Erica, is taking over the Turning Point company now.
Mhm.
And she's the CEO now. She just got appointed yesterday. So she's going to continue his work. And all it's going to do is, it's made a martyr out of him. Absolutely.
It is.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Eric and I was talking about that. He's a martyr now, and it's galvanized his base.
Yeah.
Even if you were a casual guy, like, yeah, I like the guy, but you don't really think about it. The guy gets clapped in front of the whole world. Now you're like, see, they did it because of this, and you've proven that point.
Mm-hmm. Well, he was talking about left-wing violence when he got shot.
The last thing he said was, "Are we talking about gang violence?" Boom.
Yeah.
Boom.
So,
But you know what's the thing about him? The guy wasn't big. He fought for the Second Amendment. He believed in people having guns. So it's crazy. It's just crazy.
So it's like Obi-Wan Kenobi. It's like if you strike him down, he'll become more powerful than you can imagine. And look at him now. Now, there's probably going to be like a Charlie Kirk day, and people are really galvanized.
Oh, there is. They've already. There's already. The Senate approved it.
Tomorrow, I think they're having the funeral, and then I think in October, they announced the date. I forget the date. I'll have to look it up. I want to think maybe the 18th, something like that. Is they're going to have a national remembrance day, and I think that's the day that Trump is going to give the Medal of Freedom to him.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's huge. And obviously his wife will receive it. Obviously.
Yeah, obviously, but it's not. He wouldn't have gotten this if he was alive.
No.
Yeah.
Probably not at this point. No. Probably not.
So look what you've done to him.
Oh,
There's something my mother used to say to me when I was a kid: don't give them a reason.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
January 6th, Republicans gave Democrats a reason to act a fool, and they went overboard.
Yeah.
Right? This guy just gave Republicans a reason to say, see, we told you. And you see what's happening across the board. You got people like Obama coming out and speaking out and things like that.
Well, he has to.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, he has to. Like Gavin Newsom.
And
a lot of media personalities. You have left-wing companies firing people.
Yeah.
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 And they should be fired for what they
I
do.
saw a girl on, what is it? It was a repost from TikTok, and she's crying up in the car about how she got fired for whatever.
What was her job? Do you remember?
Fucking who cares? Probably a fucking package handler.
Probably a teacher.
Yeah. But the fact that people losing their jobs, and I think it was on Eric's page yesterday that people think, oh, freedom of speech, freedom of speech. That only applies to the government. It doesn't apply to your job. The job, for the most part, is like a private company.
Yeah.
They have standards and they have bylaws. And if you read your employee handbook, which most people haven't, it probably says what you can and can't do. You can't put your company in a bad light.
When you work for a company, I'll give you an example. Like I worked for Verizon for 27 years. Okay.
Yeah.
And most of that, 20 of those 27 years, I dealt directly with the customers. I would go to their house, fix their phone lines. Okay.
Yeah.
Or go to their business, fix the phone lines, deal with people directly.
Yeah.
Probably 60% of the time you had a pissed off customer.
Yeah.
Because, they were out of service for a week and nobody came to fix it, or they couldn't fix it. There's always something. It got worse as the years went on.
Yeah.
But anyway, if I actually, said to the customer sometimes what I really wanted to say, I would have got fired.
Yeah.
And because the union, maybe the union would back me up. Maybe I get my job back, maybe not, depending on what happened. Okay. Yeah. But they would at least suspend you for something on those lines. It's the same thing. If you're a Jimmy Kimmel, okay, and you are the host of a show, you represent the network, you represent the advertisers, okay, you represent a lot of people behind the scenes, okay. And the reason he got suspended, there's two reasons, okay, is what he said pissed off the advertisers. Some of the affiliates in, I think, the Midwest said, listen, this guy, for what he's saying, we're not going to put your show on the air. Okay. People just think like ABC just pumps out this signal. It doesn't work like that. Okay?
No.
They have a
Have you seen the ratings for that show?
That was the second reason. 24% down in the ratings in the last quarter.
Now here's something to think about. A lot of people will tell you that most of this country is left-leaning, right?
Yeah.
If most of the country was left-leaning, Kimmel would still be on the air. He was taken off the air.
President.
Yeah, and Trump would not be president.
Right.
He was taken off the air because most of the viewers are conservative.
Yeah.
Or at least lean
right.
middle right. Yeah.
Center.
And Sinclair Group, they, which I don't really agree with, but they said that if ABC wants to air his show, Kimmel has to make a donation to Kirk and a formal apology. I don't agree with the donation part.
I don't know if I agree with the money part, but
But it just shows Sinclair Group, it controls all the ABC affiliates. And they're like, you know what? You're going to cost me money in ratings and viewership, and not just on this show, but in other shows.
Right.
Think about it nowadays. It's not when we were young, when it was just ABC, NBC, CBS. It's cable, it's streaming, it's movies. It's like, and hell, some people just, you know what? I'm not going to watch that network. I'll watch that show. So it's the loyalty to a channel isn't there like it was in the 80s.
And also think about Disney with the suspension. They were willing to accept the wrath of their left-leaning customers.
Right.
Yeah.
Because they know they know this. Because remember when they tried the cross-dressing princesses and stuff, but that failed miserably.
Shut down.
They know most of their patrons are conservative.
Yeah.
Right. And that's something that they, what comes down to the bottom line. Okay. It comes down to the almighty dollar. All right. If you're down 24% in the ratings.
First quarter. That's a big drop. In fact, actually, to be honest, I don't know all of the numbers off the top of my head. Kimmel was down 24%, but all the shows that started 11:35 were down. It was one guy was down 8%, one guy was down 7%.
Colbert and the others. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you know what my thing? I want to watch a talk show where I can watch a replay of Seinfeld on Channel 11.
Yeah.
That's
pretty much it. Friends or 2.5 Men. I'd rather watch that.
Yeah. But here's the thing, though. So it's 24% down this quarter. we're not even going into last year and like the third and fourth quarters of what he's been going down. There's a reason why ABC was like, you know what? The juice isn't worth the squeeze. There's a reason why they pulled this plug.
Yeah, they could put the 11:35 movie and fuck Kimbo, and it's cheaper.
Yeah, they could do that. You're not paying anybody. The production's already been paid for. You put something, hell, you could even do a rerun of something you did back in the day.
Well, think about this. Gutfeld on Fox. He's what, he has a 10 p.m. I don't watch the show, but he's got a 10 p.m. slot, and his ratings are through the roof
because he's actually funny.
Yeah.
All right, and I'm not saying because he's right leaning. He's actually just funny anyway.
Yeah.
Right?
Who's the one who just went on vacation?
Oh, I don't know.
So one of these talk show guys, it might have been Kimmel, don't quote me though, but like he went on vacation last month or whatever, and they had all these guest comedians come in. None of them were funny. Tiffany Haddish was there. Yeah. The black girl from Saturday Night Live, Leslie, whatever her name was. And I'm like, none of these people are funny. I don't care who they had on. Nobody's funny. So if you're not funny, I'm not going to watch you.
I think that the mainstream comedians, not all of them, because there are some good ones out there, but but the ones that you see on these shows and that are out there, they're not funny, okay? And they're the most of them aren't, almost all of them. Like one person that I can't stand is Wanda Sykes. I cannot stand that woman. Okay, she's not funny. Just watch the recently. It was like about a year or two ago. They had that. History of the World Part 2. It was a Mel Brooks.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. It was awful.
It was awful. It was
awful. I know you watched it, Rob. We talked about it.
Yeah.
But she was in the episode, like the one. Remember they were going to have the segment on Hitler on Ice.
Yeah.
Him skating around, and they had like him in the Olympics, and that could have been hilarious. Okay.
Yeah.
Wanda Sykes was just awful, not funny, okay, and that whole show. But she was in a couple of segments. I think.
You know what was my favorite thing? That they had like Jesus and his apostles, that they were like the Beatles.
Yeah.
And Mary was like the Yoko Ono. She's gonna ruin us.
Yeah, it just wasn't funny. But I mean,
it was awful.
They're like a club. Okay, all they do is pat each other on the back. They give each other props. They put each other on each other's shows. Okay, and they're so arrogant because Jimmy Kimmel, never mind him being funny or not, whatever you think.
Dude, he used to be funny when he was with Adam Carolla. They had the Man Show.
The Man Show.
Yeah.
Because it was during the Man Show. Then after that, it's like the guy just became like a whiny little baby. Dude.
He wasn't an arrogant jackass.
Well, these comedians are like children. Like a kid when they say something and their parent gives them the eye and they go, I was just joking. I was just joking. Well, that's what these comedians are. They say things and it's not a joke. What Kimmel said wasn't a joke.
Oh, yeah, I got into it with somebody online on Facebook that was saying, well, that's comedy. I'm like, watch the clip. I go, where
that wasn't comedy.
Where's the punchline? Okay.
Yeah.
All it is he said that MAGA people and Trump were trying to get political points off of the Kirk assassination.
Well, first of all, he also said that they were trying to hide the fact that
he was a MAGA
the shooter was a MAGA guy.
And where is he getting that from?
Where's the punchline? Where's the joke?
Yeah, that's.
No. I was only joking. Yeah, okay.
They're a bunch of miserable people, and that's it. I mean, they're like it's Trump derangement syndrome. It really just comes down to that.
Eric, you ever remember that? What was the name of the girl from the Mandalorian, Gina, that she got canceled?
Gina Carano, yeah.
And she got canceled. And she made some joke on TikTok, whatever, and freaking people lost their freaking minds.
No, and what she said wasn't even it wasn't disparaging anyone. It wasn't, she just said being a Republican is, well, I won't say it because we're on YouTube, but she just compared
to a
Republicans
event in the 20th century.
Yeah, a horrible event in the 20th century, and everybody says, "Oh, you're being so insensitive to the people that suffered from that event."
Yeah.
I'm like, you mean kind of like when gay people say that they are the same as slaves? Yeah.
They have said that. They have said that.
Yeah. I'm like, no.
Now, now I just was watching Wayne Allen Root. I don't know if you ever heard that guy. Okay, he's a conservative guy. He's on Real America's Voice, and he has like a podcast too, I think. And he said that it's coming out now that this kid who shot Kirk, Tyler Robinson, right? That's his name. He was affiliated with a radical gay group. Okay, it was, I don't remember the name. It's Gays for something of Utah. Okay,
you sure it wasn't Gay for Palestine?
No, I'm sure he was queer for Palestine. Yeah, exactly.
But the group doesn't matter. Look at the words that were used. They're common amongst Antifa and other groups like that. It's all about, the bullet that said, hey, fascists, catch, or whatever.
Catch this fascist.
Yeah, catch this fascist. And I mean,
you know how sick you gotta be to fucking even put stuff like that on your bullets?
A bullet.
Yeah.
Think about that. Take the time that it takes to do that.
I'm like thinking that's so small.
Yeah.
It's like, damn.
What kind of equipment do you need to do that?
Yeah, you got probably he's sitting there with a little nail, like, oh.
Like, he etched it in. I mean, that's like taxi driver kind of shit, man. It's like,
dude,
he's got to, he's got to ping it in like Fred Flintstone back in the day.
It's like, blink, blink.
Now, let me ask you guys this, all right? Because I believe, I don't think there's this big conspiracy, but okay, I do have an issue with a few things that have come to light since the assassination. First of all, the text conversations between him and his male lover, okay, the guy that's transitioning, okay, to I don't know, they seem almost made up. It seems like the conversation is so perfect. It gives them everything on this kid. Okay. And when you read it, it's almost like, okay, this is the confession part because he says, I shot Charlie Kirk. Okay. This is the motive part because he says, I'm doing this for trans people, whatever. Okay. And it just, it's all, and it's written in like long sentences and like who texts like that?
Well, you know how groups can be manipulative.
Huh?
You know how groups can be manipulative.
True.
And it could have been his lover that orchestrated the whole thing. We don't know. I mean, there's no evidence to say that.
This is why it's a trial.
Yeah, but it could have been. He could have just put words in his head to make him do it.
Well, if you read the text, it sounds almost like the lover was surprised to hear it. So
yeah. That's like, there's no proof that because the actual lover was one of the people that turned him in. So
right, and his own father did.
The father,
and actually, what got him was the picture of him on TV, but also the rifle was shown.
Yeah,
a picture of it, and it was a rare kind of rifle. Okay, and it was he says it's his grandfather's rifle. All right, that he used.
Was it a Mauser or something like that? I believe
on those lines. Yeah, like it was not a common type of rifle, and the father recognized the rifle, and and he's been at odds with his son now for the last year over the way he's been radicalized. It isn't enough that he's homosexual, whatever. Okay, his father might have an issue with that.
Yeah,
the guy's living with a man that's trans. I mean, I'm sure this is a big family problem. Okay?
Yeah, because his family is very religious.
Yeah. Now they didn't say if they're Mormon. I'm just curious. They probably Utah.
Yeah.
But then he kind of admitted it, I think, to the father, and then the father had a friend that was retired law enforcement, and he met the kid.
Well, wasn't the father law enforcement also?
Or maybe retired, maybe something.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, but the friend in law enforcement was the one that Tyler met, and he actually convinced him to turn himself in, and he said to him, whatever you have related to the shooting, whatever clothes you're wearing, he goes, well, I got rid of all that. All right, so interesting. So,
didn't he have like a change of clothes almost?
Yeah, and he changed back into the clothes that he did the shooting in or something like that. I don't know. It's
he
weird.
changed, and he changed back like into it.
Yeah.
Why would he stay in the state?
I don't know. That's
you got to think in his mind, he just did something that was a justice.
Well, you know what?
So why would he run?
That's a great point, Eric. And I think a lot of times I get into conversations, and I think I might have said this to you on Facebook and other places, is that these people that are radicalized, that really Trump deranged, okay? They think, you get in their heads and you talk to them, and they think that Trump and this whole movement is Nazis.
Mm-hmm.
They think it's Hitler, okay? Now, that justifies them to, number one, feel the way they do.
Yeah, and do it.
Okay? And when it goes to another level, act on it, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what's happened here is this, I mean, the sad thing is that this country swung too far to the left under Obama. It was even happening before that, but definitely under Obama. And then there was a correction, and people started to get fed up with things, and Trump gets in the first time. Then the left, and going by Rob's point about giving somebody a reason, okay, the 4 years of Biden was such a disaster. You had to bring Trump back again to correct it. And that's when they lost their minds, because they really view it. They viewed 2020 as an ultimate victory. Even if they, in their hearts of hearts, it was stolen, whatever, they don't care. Okay, you got Trump out. All right. Now he came back, and he with a mandate, and he wins the popular vote. They can't say nothing.
When's the last time a Republican won the popular vote?
Bush in 2000.
It might have been Reagan.
No. Bush in 2004 against Kerry.
Oh yeah, that was a terrible fucking candidate.
Yeah, that was the last, and then before that was Reagan.
Yeah, Reagan.
Yeah.
You want to hear something funny when you want to talk about votes getting stolen? Do you see the woman that just got arrested that she had her dog registered to vote?
Yeah.
I didn't hear about that.
Huh?
I didn't hear about that.
Yeah, she had a dog registered to vote twice.
What's this?
Fucking gangs of New York over here.
What state was this?
I forgot what it was. Let me see. Let me look at it. Let me Google.
Well, there's also, I was reading about that happened in May. 12 people were arrested for ballot harvesting.
Really?
And one was like the person running for mayor. There were a couple of city councilmen. Most of the people were in elected office, and they got busted because there's video of them going up to ballot boxes in the middle of the night and just putting in droves of ballots.
Yep.
Yeah. And they went and they were asking people, did this person come? And she goes, yeah, I paid them to submit my ballot, and they told me who I should vote for.
Yeah, that's
illegal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the film 2000 Mules shows, what happened in 2020. They have people's, cell phone pings. Okay. Yeah. They can't identify them without getting a warrant. They're not allowed to do that, but they could show the ping, and they were going to Democrat headquarters in New Jersey.
It was a girl. It was a girl in California.
Figures.
California. Yeah, I mean,
when I was in California, a woman in California who is accused of registering her dog to vote had been arrangement postponed. Is being charged with 5 felonies for registering her dog Maya, Jean, and voting for the dogs in 2 elections.
Wow. Yeah, and that's just like, one small example. I'm sure that's happened.
You want to talk about election? How many other people probably did that? Nobody's like questioning it.
And this is the thing I try to explain to people. People go, "Oh, well, there wasn't enough." Okay, let's just say there wasn't enough to affect the presidential election. Let's just say I disagree with that because I believe there was a lot of administrative fraud for the fact that they changed the laws and votes that should have never been counted. Thousands, millions of votes.
Yeah, and the mail-in ballots.
Yeah, thousands of mail-in ballots shouldn't have been counted because they weren't processed correctly. But I lost my whole train of thought. But yeah, it's I was going to say these things affect the lower level elections more than they do the presidential.
Yeah.
And the House is what everybody is trying to get right now. Yeah. And that's where, you can lose a house seat on 3 votes.
Yeah.
Well, remember, New York and California both lost a seat due to population.
That's a good point.
People are out of New York and California in droves.
Yeah. Yeah. I heard someone talking about that on radio the other night.
Yeah.
And they said that since this year alone, I think it's this year, and we're not even done with the year.
Yeah.
600,000 New Yorkers have left the state.
Yeah.
And then since Hochul took over a few years, okay, since her actual election, not the Cuomo part, okay? Yeah. When was that? 2 years ago, whatever that was.
Yeah.
Okay. It's been like 1.5.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And if Mandami wins,
before he's even inaugurated, there's going to be an
honestly, I don't think he's going to win. I just think it's the media blowing things out of proportion.
Yeah, I kind of hope that's the case, and I think even events like
you know what the problem is, and I'm going to tell you something. I don't really think a lot of New Yorkers, especially the primary, go out and vote.
That's true.
Yeah.
It's almost like, remember when the poll at one point had Kamala Harris leading for a while?
Yeah.
And it was all phantom. It was all fucking.
Only 3% of the Democratic voting bloc showed up for the primary. Yeah. I mean, that's all he got was 3%.
Right.
But
of the vote.
You're gonna have all these companies, all these other rich guys, and they're gonna put money. But this is my thing. Curtis got to drop off, and you got to have Eric Adams drop off. I think Cuomo's the best chance. As much as I don't like Cuomo, you got to put your back because Seaworth's not going to win. He don't have. No. The other day, the guy was on TV next to a statue of Gandhi talking about free. I said, "Come on, man! Don't be a mark on yourself. Nobody takes that guy serious. Take the beret off and fucking be yourself and fuck."
Thank you.
That's what you gotta do. You gotta take that stupid guardian angel shit off.
Yeah.
And you know what's funny? He's also the one guy. Eric Adams got security. Cuomo got security. Zohan. Curtis got no security. So
he was riding the subway. He's riding the subway by himself.
So I mean, you think about it. You really think that guy's gonna win? He's not even a threat.
I personally would love to see him win, but I don't think it's going to happen. Right? I think he's a good candidate. I think he understands the city and he's done a lot of good things. But the guardian angel thing, we live in different times. Most people that are living in New York now don't even remember that. All right.
Yeah. But what kind of management experience does he have? What kind of economic experience does he have? That's the things that are important.
You know what he should run for?
I guess.
He should try to beat Chuck Schumer or somebody like that. That's what he should really run for.
Yeah, he should go for like a House seat.
Yeah, the House seat.
Yeah, he would definitely, he could win a House seat.
Easy.
Yeah. But I don't think he could probably win AOC seat.
No, he can't. No chance in hell.
Well, there's a lot of, the Democrat Socialists of America. They have a lot.
Here's why I say that. Remember, she represents part of the Bronx and part of Queens. Like, that's her district.
Yeah.
I know the part of the Bronx that she's representing. These motherfuckers don't show up. But the thing that she has is she has a name. People know her name. Mm-hmm. Like, remember a couple of years ago when that girl was running against her? The girl was the better candidate if you look at them. Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
He has name value. So they're like, oh, I know her, and they'll check it off and they'll keep it moving. But because it's not about what you do and while you're in office. They know you. She's outspoken, so she has the thing that she works for the people, even though we know she's an idiot. But
well, did you see she's talking about? Well, I don't know if she's talking about, but news reports have a 2028 run.
She has like alluded to it, and I think there's a little momentum behind it now, more than there was like a few months ago.
Years ago?
Oh.
Well,
you know what the problem is? She wouldn't win. Like, she's only a New York name. She wouldn't win outside anywhere else.
no, but here's the thing
You
with her.
understand that she's not going to win.
A lot of people find her attractive, and a lot of people will be like,
until she opens her mouth.
Yeah.
Until she opens her mouth.
This is not a beauty contest. This is about somebody that got to be knowledgeable, that got to deal with world leaders, and that's it.
Some voters are stupid.
But you got to remember, though, I think she can get enough momentum. I don't think she'll win a nomination, but I think she'll get enough momentum where she'll be viable on a campaign trail.
You see, I can tell you appearance makes a difference. Why do you think people love Trudeau? Why do you think they love Newsom? Right? Both of them have very bad policies, but they look cool.
Yeah.
They look young, they look handsome or attractive or whatever. People factor that in.
Yeah.
And it shouldn't get factored in because it doesn't mean anything, but people factor that in.
That was one of the reasons that got Kennedy elected.
Mm-hmm.
Like, young guy, a lot of women found him attractive.
Young, attractive, new generation type thing. Yeah.
You know what?
Look at Mendami. That's the whole thing with him. Everybody's like, "Oh, he's so hot." I'm like, "Well, but have you looked at his policies? But he's hot."
Yeah, exactly.
You're gonna make everybody dance Bollywood at 5 o'clock. There's gonna be a bunch of everybody. We're gonna be dancing Bollywood at 5 o'clock every day, dude. It's gonna be
It's what, 5 o'clock Bollywood time?
The guy's a rich Neptune baby. People don't realize this guy comes from
He gets elected, and if 15% of the stuff that he wants to do gets in, we're going back to the 70s and the early 80s.
Well, you got to understand something. Holchel, when he was nobody,
National Guards in every corner in New York City.
When when he first started saying these things, before he was a big somebody, Holchel shot every one of his proposals down.
Yeah,
every single. She's only backing him now because guess what comes up in the next election?
Her re-election.
Exactly. And if he wins, she gets his base.
Right. She wants.
That's all about. She's gonna shoot all his shit down.
Yeah, she is.
You want to hear something? The guy running, her former deputy governor, the guy's actually a pretty good dude. He might actually be good for New York. He's like this black guy, but he's very smart. He's not too much left. He's not too much right. He's pretty much a guy down the middle, which is something like we actually need in New York. We need somebody that's down the middle. He can't be extreme left or extreme right because people just don't like it. And if she loses the election, the new government will be like, it's going to smack this kid around. And they're going to have Trump smack this kid around. Yeah. And we're going to have the National Guard. They say, you know what? When they say they were going to send the National Guard to Chicago, there would have been some real battle because they would have been taking out a bunch of gangbangers, which I don't understand what everybody's bitching about.
But the thing with the National Guard is the governor has to allow them in.
No.
That's the common courtesy.
That's not the National Guard. That's the reserves and the full-time army.
Yeah.
Right. Well, you can't deploy the army
into
the way you can deploy.
Yeah, you can't because what is the posse? I forget it.
Kama posse.
Yeah. Because and I should know that being in the National Guard. But you can't deploy federal troops. But this is what people get everything wrong about the National Guard. If the governor gives the National Guard arrest powers, they can arrest you.
Yeah.
Flat out. They can arrest. They are actually trained. As in the National Guard, we get special training to deal with law enforcement. Right. So people say, oh, the National Guard, they don't have the training. Yes, we do. Now with Trump, with the National Guard, if it's federal, the National Guard can be used to enforce federal law, not state law.
Well, that'd be drug dealers and things like that.
Well, in Chicago, the guns fall under the ATF, and Chicago politicians have said the guns are coming from out of state, so that makes it a federal issue. They just made the case for National Guard to be in Chicago.
Hey, did you see that news article about the kid that had the gun? I think it was Brooklyn. That kid that brought the gun. The gun was
the school.
The school, and the school. So they were saying today in the news that the gun was bought like illegally, and it was just sent to New York, but they bought it somewhere in Indiana, someplace out there. And they were saying how they're trying to figure out how the hell it got here, and in that kid's hand. Because that's pretty crazy, you know.
That's crazy.
You know, it's almost like David Berkowitz. He bought his gun. His gun was from Texas that he grown here.
Yeah.
You know,
now, wouldn't it be crazy if Adams dropped out, and then Trump made him like the gun czar for New York or something like that? The crime czar for New York.
There was talk of him getting a position in the administration, but then apparently now that's
they threw cold water on that. They did that.
I wonder what that was about.
Well, I think it's because maybe
they're just saying it because they don't want him to drop out of the race.
Yeah, they want to make him viable.
Mm-hmm.
Because if he's viable, maybe he picks up the people that don't want to vote for Cuomo or don't want to vote for Madabi. Who knows?
Because Cuomo violated our constitutional rights so many times, it's insane.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I think the media wanted Cuomo to win. Like they were pushing Cuomo hard over the summer.
Yeah,
I'm just like, where's all my Me Too friends?
Right. Well, yeah. I mean, the guy had to resign. Basically stepped down over
inappropriate activities.
Inappropriateness. Okay.
Yeah.
And he didn't try to deny it. He just said, "Oh well, that's how I am.
That's how I'm Italian."
I'm Italian.
I get touchy. I'm Italian. No. And they got video, they got audio, they got witnesses, and it isn't from 30 years ago.
No.
Yeah. And it isn't like an episode of Law and Order, like the freaking Okay, it was an exact episode of Law and Order that.
I know. I was like, really? I was like, and what's crazy is he couldn't bring that up in court.
Yeah.
Yeah. But what's crazy is, like the Me Too thing, and this is just me, booking from the seats. It only applies to the right side of the fence.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
It's a double standard.
Yeah, because what is it? What is I think it was Biden, and I think it was the twats on The View. They were like, "Oh, well, there's a learning curve for sexual this." I'm like, there shouldn't be a learning curve.
We would never say that if it was a Trump or somebody else.
Oh, when he was like smelling kids' hair and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Right. That's okay. Again, really, again, Trump derangement syndrome. Okay, it's a double standard. Okay, and they're also so deranged about Trump and MAGA and everything that they would allow a guy to come back and have a political, comeback. Just because they view Trump as the same way. So we got to have sexual.
The New York DOJ was ready to bring charges.
Yeah.
Remember, it wasn't like just a he say, she said. There was a state and a federal investigation, and they both found wrongdoing.
Yeah.
It was a rock solid case that they could have done.
Yeah.
If they could have made the case, yeah.
Yeah.
You know what's the funny thing? How when people in Adams camp are still getting busted. It's crazy. Like
the funniest shit with him was the bag, the money in the Doritos bag. I'm like, yo, son, go around the corner. Are you serious right now?
Yeah. Yeah. And how about the police commissioner, Caban? What was his name? The Cuban guy. Okay. Yeah. He I forget his name, but his brother was going around like, manhandling people, basically, taking them down.
My brother's a police commissioner.
Yeah, you're gonna do what I say. I mean, nuts, man.
Thanksgiving will be real awkward in that house.
I think two brothers might not be talking right now.
Yeah.
There was another problem going on. There's a lot of kids coming in right now from other states, and they're registering to go to New York because they're going to be here for the next couple of years. That's another thing you got to watch out.
That's a problem. Yeah.
Well, that's why Brooklyn, you know, all, and we know a lot of the people. A lot of people from Brooklyn, even
Brooklyn, they're not from Brooklyn.
Right.
Yeah.
They just live in the gentrified areas.
The gentrified areas, they're going to vote Mandami because, you know, free stuff. Even though the MTA is $1 billion in the hole from fare evaders because of free stuff. Yeah. You know, let's do free stuff. Let's make the buses free because, you know, just a little bit of people not paying is making us bankrupt.
Well, he doesn't have the authority for that.
No. And Hochul already was like saying no.
Yeah, you got to relax when it comes to that. So there's that. Then, so you want free stuff, and then you hit us with the fucking congestion pricing, which is bullshit.
Congestion pricing brought in $500 million last year.
Yeah.
But the MTA is in the hole for $1 billion.
So where
just for fare evasion, not the other stuff. Just for fare evasion.
Eric Adams raised my You're the new rent is too damn high guy.
Hi.
Yeah,
I want to run under that campaign. Eric Adams raised my rent.
But meanwhile, he's up in the Dominican Republic North, Washington Heights, dancing bachata, trying to get votes.
Yeah, nobody likes him. He's down. He's the bottom of the. I think sleep.
He got 12%. Serious.
Well, see, I don't believe the polls because I think a lot of the business people want Adams because Adams is tougher on crime.
Well, he is a
Cuomo would be. Yeah,
I think and that's the thing. I don't know what Cuomo will be, but there's a lot of women in charge of businesses in New York
who are not going to be feeling Cuomo.
It's a good point. Well, I guess that's why everybody's staying in because nobody believes the polls, and everybody is, thinking that they could, eke away in there somehow.
Yeah,
right?
You know what might be the problem? The ficting polls might be like, like what's it called? Like a smoke screen.
Oh yeah,
right. And they say the next thing you come, you fucking Cuomo wins by 80 something percent. Yeah. Everybody's gonna be like, the election was stolen.
Cuomo gets 70% of the vote.
That kid Zohar's gonna hold the fucking thing hostage. He's not gonna fucking be there. He's like, I want the votes counted over and over and over.
I don't know how much he could do that. I don't
because you know what's going to happen. Everybody forget that New York City got a lot of freaking powerful Jewish people. Mm-hmm. You really think they're going to let
this not a guy that actually called for global intifada.
Yeah.
Okay.
So to prove your point, Rob. Remember back in '84 when Jesse Jackson ran for president?
Yeah.
He
called New York Town, and they turned the lights off on him.
Oh yeah,
he was done after that.
Yeah, after that he was done.
Remember he got on SNL and he did that song, Town.
Yeah.
After that,
he was done.
Him on the national stage was over.
Let me tell you, you're gonna have all those Orthodox Jews in freaking in Brooklyn. They're even gonna have the kids vote that day. They're gonna put every vote they can. Trust me. This guy.
But here's the thing, Rob. It's not those Jewish people you got to worry about. It's the lay ones.
Yeah.
It's the ones that are like a Peter Rosenberg, who's like, yeah, I'm Jewish. I don't really go hardcore with it, but I'm a Jew. I stand with them.
Yeah.
Those are the ones you really.
I'm Jewish, but I moved here from Minnesota.
I'm Jewish, but I'll eat a ham sandwich with you.
Yeah.
But they're still Jewish.
Yeah.
Like when it comes to the big things, they stick together.
Yeah.
You look at this guy every day, it's like, oh, that's my friends, whatever. But when it really comes to it, those are the guys that'll be like, nope, we don't want this guy as our mayor. And they have enough influence to make sure that this guy doesn't get elected.
Well, he got booed off of Staten Island.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he got booed off of Staten Island. He came back a second time, but he didn't tell anybody. He was coming. He just like snuck in.
Well, Scott Lebedo, right, was at that second visit. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
he was at the first one, and he was calling him a motherfucker and everything. But the second one, he said, "Yeah," he goes, "He's coming here, but he didn't tell nobody." I saw this clip, and he's like, "I'm going to wait for him."
So I got a question for you. How long do you think before somebody on The View gets fired or suspended?
I was going to say whack.
Well, okay. So
I think The View's going to get pulled like Jimmy Kimmel.
On a slightly side note, I say Sonny's the first one to get suspended.
Oh yeah.
I would say. You'll never do it to that old bag. Joy.
She should be the first one.
Oh, she's awful. Another one that was never funny. You ever see her stand up?
No.
Yeah.
It was terrible. Well, first of all, she was a comedian in the 80s. All right. Oh. If you see her then, you wouldn't even recognize her. Okay. Yeah. But I went back and I watched it, I don't know, a while ago, just looking at it. And she really wasn't funny. No wonder she went over to this bullshit. Okay. Yeah. Her career really wasn't, I don't know, huge. But I think it's, it's like anything, it's like Jimmy Kimmel. If The View's ratings are down, I'm curious what they're at. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I looked that up.
All it takes is one of them to give them a reason. Okay.
Because remember, they had all those legal disclaimers that Sonny had to do. And it was like every
Sonny had to do this. So I'm thinking, remember, they went at Trump and then Trump hit them back with the lawsuit. I think they're on thin ice. I guess it's that part of the day where everybody who's at work should be at work. So they're like 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock. So they get like a lot of like the housewives and everything.
That's what it is. They're a housewife show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it used to be more like,
they're a show for people with no job.
Basically.
Yeah. It used to be like, this actor's coming on to promote their movie. It's one of those like fluffy, gossipy thingies. We got this person giving a new recipe. And then after Trump, they became political.
They were political before that, but you're right. In the very beginning,
not like that.
Not like this, yeah.
When Barbara Walters was in the beginning,
yeah,
okay? and they've had a few major people over the years. Lucy Liu, right?
Yeah.
A couple others that long gone. The show was less political.
Yeah.
Okay? And then I would say, I think before Trump's first term, like Obama's time, I think that's like maybe 2012, maybe 2010, they started getting like way.
Do you remember when Trump was first running? He actually went on The View.
Oh, yeah,
because they
times.
And they loved him. They loved him. They were like, "Are you running for president?" Joy Behar, whatever her name is. Yeah, she was like, "Oh, rumor has it you might be running for president," and everybody's like clapping, "Yay!"
Yeah.
Same with Oprah. How many times was he on Oprah? A dozen times he must have been.
Well, hell, Oprah, don't get it twisted. Oprah knows him. Like, they were all cool. Yeah. I remember in the 80s, everybody was all friends.
Every rap artist wanted to be Donald Trump.
Right.
Well, now you're talking to my expertise.
Yeah.
Now, that's why I said it.
Now, one of my groups that are like Smith & Wesson, they have a song called Black Trump. So, like the thing with Trump is
Is that a new song?
The name of the song is called Black Trump.
No, is it new though, or is it old?
No, it came out in the 90s. But the thing about it was Donald Trump represented that money, that success. Remember he had the book Art of the Deal, and remember him and Don King are like this. Like, they had all the Tyson fights. He's friends with Vince McMahon. A lot of WrestleMania 4 was in Atlantic City, his hotel. So
WrestleMania 4 and 5.
Okay, 5 too, yeah. So you see Donald Trump, and even Donald Trump was like, I don't really know what they're saying in terms of like hip hop lyrics, but he's like, but I respect the entrepreneurial spirit of it. So Donald Trump has embraced hip hop in a way, and hip hop has embraced him in a way. But now with the whole like MAGA thing, it's not really you can't be a new rapper coming out now saying you like Donald Trump. Like your career will never start.
No. I don't know if you remember on the day of 9/11, right?
Yeah.
All the news agencies were asking Donald Trump about buildings and how could this happen and because they knew he was the man. He was the man. There was like, oh, well, we hate him. No, everybody was like, I mean, we have a special guest on this. He's going to talk to us about, the buildings and all this.
Yeah.
Come on. They loved him back then.
They did. They always did. And I think, there's probably rappers coming up now that like him, and they just have to keep their mouth shut.
Well, the only rapper, the prominent rapper I know now was Lil Wayne. He had said something years ago about Donald Trump, and they gave him shit for it.
Yeah.
Well, you remember if you watch the news, a lot of the minorities, especially the black community, were saying they were going to vote Donald Trump because Donald Trump put money in their pocket.
I'll tell you this. I remember, 2021? One of those years I did my taxes. I got a little bit more back.
I got a lot more back.
I did good that by 2019, I had made back everything I lost since 2008. Okay, in my 401k.
Yeah.
Now that I'm retired, living on a pension, I got everything invested, and it's Trump comes back, I'm doing good. I got more money than when I started.
It's amazing.
I work in advertising, and advertising is key to how the economy is. The less ads that go out, the worse the economy is. Right now, I've got projects out the wazoo.
Yeah,
out the wazoo.
Been busy. She worked in advertising. So Kelsey, she been busy and she works in advertising. There's a lot of commercial. They're already pumping commercial out for the Super Bowl. That's how crazy they're already.
And they only do that when they know people have money to spend.
Yeah.
Right. They anticipate it, right?
Like I'm waiting, like this is the end of the model year, the beginning of the next model year. Like I've been getting some emails like, yo, this is coming, like
you're gonna get a new Tumblr?
No, but I will say this though. Acura is supposed to be dropping a hybrid. Acura drops the hybrid, we might have to talk numbers. Because again, with that gas went down about 10 cents this week. So
it's still a little too high for me, man.
Oh, no, it's a lot too high for me. Don't get it twisted. Gas should be no more than $1.50. Let's deal with that. But gas around my way was $3.29 for 87. Now it's I'm seeing $3.19, I'm seeing $3.15 or whatever, which, when I tell people, if you want to follow the economy, follow gas. So you follow
it does drive it, obviously.
It does, literally. Like I had a friend of mine, he was like, well, I don't got to worry about the price of gas. I don't drive. I'm like, yeah, but you know what? That steak you want goes on the truck to the supermarket.
Right.
That's gas.
The machine that harvests the wheat or whatever, the grass, to feed the cows runs on gas.
Runs on gas.
The tractor plow,
everything.
Yeah. I mean, people don't realize that, and it's still a little too high. Like I said before, I don't know what's driving it. I was hoping that when Trump got in, it would go back down, but there's more to it than just.
There was so much infrastructure built to support the restrictions that were put on manufacturers. They have to rebuild that whole infrastructure, so that's going to take a long time.
Before it'll come down in price. Yeah, that kind of makes sense.
Another year, 18 months?
Because remember, they were doing away with all the gasoline-powered everything. So everybody was making that transition to renewable energy vehicles, which
doesn't work.
They have their pluses for like short stints, like I've got that electric scooter. It's great for short stints, but I've already run out of juice on it a couple of times and had to walk that thing back a mile or two home.
That's not good.
That's not fun.
Put it in the back of an Uber, you know.
And you've seen that thing now. It's pretty big.
That's funny. That's funny. All right, guys. So we're at the hour point.
Yeah.
Anybody want to add anything? Any final words? Any opinions? We're all opinionated.
I gotta say that my motherfucker of the month is definitely the bitches on The View. So they just fine. They're cranky. They're like nasty, man. And I can't believe they're still on. They outlived Jimmy Kimmel.
And you know what about funny?
And none of them are funny. They just go out there. It's a fucking.
They need to go. They need to go off.
They're terrible, man.
No, terrible.
They're
You know what
terrible.
they should put a conservative version of The View on Channel 4.
We should do it. Channel 4, we volunteered.
The look.
The View.
What we could do is Rob could be the host of Rob could take a Jimmy Kimmel slot.
That's what I want.
Director.
I want to be the next Jimmy Kimmel.
You could do it.
I will have Buddha as my Guillermo. Hey, Buddha, what do you think about this? Have Buddha in the street interview stars or send him to the red carpet? That shouldn't be priced, man.
No, we can get Mumbles to do that.
Oh, no. Boogada. Make him go out there with his Steelers shirt. Hey, I'd like to interview you.
On Football Sunday, go somewhere with a Steelers shirt.
Oh, all right, we're going off the rails. You know, I just on a serious note, I guess we'll leave on a serious note. Is I really think that, you know, things have to they got to learn from this event, this assassination, because we're going down a dark road.
Yep.
And if things don't turn around, I mean, you know, we can go tit for tat here, you know.
Yeah.
I don't want to see that. What's that?
Which is what you don't want.
Exactly. I don't want to see that. Okay. Yeah. I don't want to see. I mean, because it'll just trickle down to me and you.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, you know, you might just be sitting in a bar and someone will freaking stab you because you're saying you like Trump. You know? I mean, it's like, is that what we're going to be?
Yeah. You don't got to like the guy. You don't got to just agree with the guy. You don't even have to mourn the guy's death, but respect the fact that it was a human life.
Exactly. And he was a father.
He was a father, whatever.
Yeah.
Somebody gave a shit about him.
You know, he didn't deserve to have his throat blown out on national TV. Okay?
Yeah.
And you know, I watched that video. I wish I didn't. Okay. I look at it now. I'm like, I can't even look at this.
Yeah.
But you know, whether you liked him, didn't like him, agreed maybe partially or not at all, doesn't matter. Okay, change the channel. Keep scrolling.
Yeah.
All right? Stop taking it to heart because you're looking at something that you don't agree with. All right, change the channel. Okay, you don't have to agree with everything. That's what makes America great. I know it's a cliche, but we're all different. But we all have things that hold us together too. We got to remember that. And you know, I just the event has to be taken as a teaching moment. Okay. Basically the rhetoric's got to be toned down. I don't see the left toning down the rhetoric. Okay. I don't want to blame it one side or the other, but this is what I'm seeing, you know, they still haven't learned yet.
When you don't think that when you're moral, when you think you have the moral authority to do something, they're not going to tone it down.
Well, that goes back to what I said. You know, they really think that violence, not all of them, but there's a good amount that think the violence is okay because we're dealing with Nazis. Okay.
Mike, look how quick Comedy Central put the South Park episode that they almost did a thing about Charlie Kirk. It was Cartman being like Charlie Kirk, having the big.
I heard about that.
And what's the first thing? They pulled that episode out right away. And not only that, if you had it saved in your DVR, they also put it out. So even if you had it saved, like you can't see that episode, it's done.
We can do that. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Apple used to do that all the time.
Yeah. It's like your fine print. You know, your fine print that when you do that contract saying they'll be able to pull whatever they want. So it's crazy. Yeah.
All right. So we're done with another episode of I Am Right. Hope everybody liked it. We'll be back in about a month or so.
A little more than a month though, like.
Yeah, no. Well, I was on vacation for almost 2 weeks, and there was.
Yeah, but I put up.
And you didn't bring us back any clovers.
Yeah. Wow.
You all can go fuck yourselves. I spent all the money on me. My liver's not thanking me though. I was in Ireland. Maybe fucking crazy.
Yeah.
But all right, so I guess Rob, you're gonna put this up soon, hopefully.
Yeah, soon. This will probably go up next month because I just put up episode 6 went up. That's
Okay. All right, everybody. So what do we say at the end of every episode?
We don't get drunk.
We get lumped up.
We'll see you next time.
Take care, people.